All right, Johnny, let's check this one out, buddy. We have to do this table of equivalents. We have to round decimals to the nearest 10,000th. All right, so that's 4 decimal places. And we're going to round percents to the nearest hundredth of a percent. So we have 34 and 3/8%. We got to make that a decimal. We got to make it a... So let's get into it. We got 34 and 3/8%. Now, what that is, remember, a percent is really over 100, right? So we can think of it like dividing this whole mess right now, 34 and 3/8. I can think of it as being divided by 100 and we get rid of the percent. That's still kind of ugly, right? We have a mixed number divided by a fraction and all that stuff. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to think of this as 34 and 3/8 times 1 over 100. Because the 100 is in the denominator, it's the same as dividing, right? It means the same thing. I'm going to multiply this by 1 and divide it by 100. That's the same as dividing it by 100. Still, though, this is a little ugly. So 34 times 8, we'll convert that over into a big improper fraction. Let me just see here. Get the old calculator going, buddy. We could do it old school too, I guess, but I got it right here. So we got 34 times 8 is 272 plus 3. And there she is, 275 over 8. So let's rewrite that. 275. Okay, over our original denominator, 8 times 1 over 100. And now, you know, we can start reducing this a little bit because 25 is probably going to go into both of these numbers, right? 25, that's a pretty big number, 275. So what if we had 275 and we're going to divide that by 25? Well, that's going to come out to be 11. So we'll divide that. That gives us 11. Let's divide this by 25. That's going to give us 4. So now we have 11 over 4/8, which are 32. Probably no other way to really reduce that. So there she is as a fraction. There's a fraction right there. We can blast that in. Now to take this to a decimal, we're just going to divide this out. Old school. You could do it old school, or you could just get the old calculator. I got it warmed up anyway. We're going to go 11 divided into 32. And then we're just going to round appropriately. The calculator spits out, get rid of this, get my pen back. Calculator spits out 0.34375. Okay, so we got to go to the nearest 10,000th, which is right here. We look to the right, that's a 5, so this becomes an 8, that becomes a 0. So as a decimal, it'll be 0.3438. You can put the 0 in if you want to get fancy, but it doesn't matter. All right, so there you go, buddy. That's the big trick. See this as a fraction over 100. I like to write it a different way, multiplying by the inverse of that, right? Because I'm really just dividing anyway and doing the dividing fraction trick. But other than that, make sure you round appropriately. That should give it to you. Let me know if you're still struggling.